And this is the generation that is growing up on AI, right? And so my kids who are teenagers are technically Gen Z, but in the middle of their education, AI came out. So,
Yes.
for example, my daughter, I dropped her off for her first day of sophomore year of high school today. And, she was asking about, I think geometry. She's concerned about geometry. And I said, well, you have this new tool that you didn't used to have. And I said, you can say to ChatGPT, not just explain whatever it is that you're struggling with in geometry, but you can say, explain it to someone who's a sophomore in high school, who's struggling and doesn't really understand the basic concepts. Like you can prompt it to teach it to you just the way that you need to learn. And I wouldn't have said that to her 2 years ago because that wouldn't have made that it didn't exist. And so she has access now to an extraordinarily powerful tool, maybe the best tutor on the planet that she has access to. And as long as she prompts it correctly. So I think it's the same with respect to, I actually think there are going to be benefits to mental health by having essentially AI therapists who've, because imagine the AI can read every mental health book, every mental health scientific study that's published in every language in the world every day, right? I mean, the ability to understand so much, I think, for example, I think by the end of this decade, most people will be seeing some kind of an AI doctor. I think medical AI is
Yes.
very well suited for. Mental health, I still think it's going to be very helpful because part of what we all universally want is to feel understood. And AI is mimicking that, but it can still say the words that make you feel understood. And that's an important quality. And look, not all mental health professionals and doctors are excellent, right? One of my favorite jokes about that is, do you know what you call a person who finishes last in their class in medical school? Doctor. So people complain about the errors and mistakes that AI is making, and it is making errors and mistakes for sure.
Yes.
But it reminds me of when people complain about self-driving cars getting into an accident. It's like humans are killing about 50,000 people a year just in the United States in cars. So if AI is going to kill less than 50,000, that's a benefit to society. And so, the standard isn't AI can never kill a single person in a car. The standard is 50,000 people are dying every year in this country in car accidents. And if AI can cut that in half or cut that by 90%, that's a huge, incredible benefit. And so it's the same thing, I think, with some of the other errors is directionally, is it better than what's out there? Okay, that's the standard.